first press briefing here at the Ministry of Information. This afternoon, we are honored to have the hard-working Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, who also doubles as the Minister for Gender, Children and Caretaker Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Honorable Cecilia Abena-Dapaah, with us. She has come with a very powerful delegation from the Gender Ministry to update us and to run us through the achievements of the Gender Ministry from August 2020 to date. Before I proceed to yield the podium to the Honorable Minister, permit me to acknowledge some dignitaries who have joined us this afternoon. With us, we have Madam Abena Anobia Asari, who is Head of Human Trafficking Secretariat. Madam Malonin Asibi, Head Domestic Violence Secretariat. Dr. Richard Ajete, Head Ghana National Household Registry. Mr. Stephen Dombu, Head Central Adoption Authority. Mr. Dela Ashiagbo, Head Non-Profit Organization. We have Mrs. Florence Ayisi Korte, Director, Department of Children. And we have Dr. Afisa Zakaria, who is the Chief Director at the Ministry. And other heads of departments who have joined us this morning. So I will now call on the Honorable Minister to make her presentation. Honorable.
Good morning. Again, good afternoon. Thank you, the gentleman who corrected me. Thank you. I'm still living in the morning. Thank you very much. As the Honorable Deputy Minister said, I'm a caretaker minister for the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. The presentation will be in the form of PowerPoint. So, Chief Director, who is helping me go through it, it's over there. They have the script. Good, excellent. So, Honorable Deputy Minister, honorable members and staff of the Ministry of Gender, I've upgraded you. The Chief Director being the head honorable, heads of departments and friends from the media, and our cherished friends who are listening and watching us this morning. On behalf of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, I'm very delighted to be having this opportunity to share the ministry's major achievements from August 2020 to date with the media and the nation. We would also like to express our gratitude to the Honorable Minister and Deputy Minister for Information and their staff also as well for granting us the platform to brief the press. And as you know, we are in December. So far, the ministry hasn't done any press briefing this year. Hence, our turn today, Sunday at 1 p.m. to carry out our mandate. So thank you for your attendance. I've just seen the coordinator for school feeding program who's just joined us, Mrs. Gertrude Esi Kwashiga. You are welcome. As you all know, the ministry's mandate is to ensure gender equality through the mainstreaming of gender considerations. It is also to promote the welfare and protection of children and to empower the vulnerable, excluded, the aged, and persons with disabilities through social protection interventions to enable them contribute to national development. We will start with the digitalization in service delivery. You know, it's a big word. And my name here knows it very, very well. In service delivery, as you know, it's government's vision to make sure we take digitization and digitalization very seriously. Why? Because it helps us spruce up our delivery. We have a lot to share with the media and the people of Ghana this afternoon, but for the limited time, we have just restricted ourselves to just a few of the interventions we've made. To enhance and facilitate the effectiveness and efficiency in managing violence and challenges faced by the vulnerable in the country, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, in collaboration with its partners, have introduced electronic systems and strategies to enhance our operations. In addressing sexual and gender-based violence and other challenges facing the vulnerable, including our children, we have introduced the following: the Orange Support Center, Single Window Citizen Engagement Services, 3, Social Welfare Information Management System, 4, LEAP Management Information System, and 5, Ghana National Household Registry Database. The Orange Support Center is a technology platform that aims at providing information and support for survivors and domestic, sexual, and gender-based violence, including child marriage in Ghana. The Orange Support Center comes in two folds. The call-in section, it's a toll-free line, and the mobile app referred to as the Boame app. The center demonstrates the continuous efforts from all stakeholders to bring to zero all forms of domestic, sexual, and gender-based violence in Ghana. And I want to inform all of us here that about 2 weeks ago, about 7 heads of states met in Congo, Kinshasa, to discuss how to eliminate violence against women. It's all in line with what we are doing in Ghana. At the center, there's a team of volunteers in the health, legal, and psychosocial sectors who render relevant services in their fields of work to victims and survivors. The innovation and technology of the app allow for confidentiality and assures reporters' safety while providing evidential reports. This is very, very important because at times the victims are victimized again when their identities are known by the perpetrators. So this is very good and it should be encouraged. The app permits users to call directly to the Orange Support Center and send in text messages, voice notes, and videos of the scene in order to receive appropriate support. The success stories. Ladies and gentlemen, from March to June 2021, 1,448 calls were received through the toll-free number, which is 0800 111 222. Very easy to memorize. And these cases were resolved. Greater Accra region has the highest number of cases reported, while the Bono and Western North regions have the lowest number of reported cases. And it doesn't mean it's only prevalent in Greater Accra. What it means is that the population pattern is such that the more people concentrated in a space, maybe the cases could go up. Cases reported at the center included rape, defilement, and domestic violence. To have access to the app, the public is encouraged to visit the Play Store on any Android phone and download the Boame app. I know someone will ask, how do you have the vulnerable accessing this? think the experts are here to help us go through that. A child marriage information portal has also been developed to share information and interventions on child marriage with the general public. I think we want to show the demonstration of the Boame app, if it's ready. Can we have that, please? If it's not ready, let's have the single window citizen engagement services. That is one intervention that the ministry has also undertaken. As part of the ministry's efforts to strengthen systems and improve coordination among social protection programs, the ministry has operationalized a single window citizen engagement services. The system provides a one-stop point for citizens to report grievances for redress about the implementation of the major social protection flagship programs, like the school feeding program, the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, Labor Intensive Public Works, LIPW, Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, LEAP, and the Education Capitation Grant. The Single Window Citizen Engagement Services establishes common support mechanisms between social protection programs and avoids duplication of efforts and services. It also reduces administrative costs and provides database and analytical reports to record and monitor the progress of cases. Ladies and gentlemen, some of the major typology of cases addressed under the single window citizen engagement services include child abuse, educational support, anti-human trafficking, rape, defilement, child custody, child maintenance, among many others. Further to the establishment of the single window citizen engagement services, I am pleased to share with Ghanaians some of the major success stories chalked under the platform. A total of 3,739 calls were received from the Helpline of Hope. 900 callers benefited from the emergency cash grants during the lockdown of the COVID-19 period. Through the interventions of the Helpline, a 15-year-old girl was rescued from early child marriage and has been placed at the shelter for abused children and has been supported by some NGOs to enroll in vocational training, and she is currently doing very well. The pictures are shown on the screen. A young woman who was trafficked to Saudi Arabia was rescued by the Anti-Human Trafficking Unit as a result of a call received through the Helpline. We also see that on the screen. Top issues reported through the Helpline of Hope Call Center is also shown on the screen. I think the typos are very small, but we can see the graph, the longest one, and then the shortest one. The longest one is the LEAP payment, and the financial assistance is next. COVID-19 support is next. Disability issues next, and the LEAP targeting is next. And the last one is for child maintenance. We also have the Ghana National Household Registry. The Ghana National Household Registry will serve as a national data repository for the targeting and selection of the extreme poor in Ghana to benefit from social intervention programs. So far, data has been collected in 5 regions, namely Northern, Northeast, Savannah, Upper East, and Upper West. There's a classification of poverty within the households, and we can see that on the screen. We have the poverty and extreme poverty incidence, and we have that as 39.7% households that are poor, 14.7% households that are in extreme poverty, and the poverty gap is 3.5%. If you take the rural setting, we have 97% of the poor households, and these are all from the rural communities. 99% of extreme poor households are also from rural communities. So you can see that we have a lot of work to do in our rural communities. Hence, we should, I will plead with all of us to encourage all of us to help government succeed in this 1D, 1F initiative. Because when the communities have work present, I know Ghanaians, I believe in them, we are very hardworking, and we have our pride in working to feed our families, and this should be encouraged. We also have the extreme poor households that we have highlighted. It's on the screen as well. I'll go straight to the LEAP management and information systems. Another innovation of the ministry that is worth noting is the LEAP management information system. This system enables the ministry to undertake proper targeting of beneficiaries, analyze, monitor, and evaluate data. It also encourages the ministry to perform payroll functions and also to disaggregate data by sex, age, location, among others, as displayed on slides 25 to 30. As you can see, the presentation is very scientific, and it's all because of the innovative way the ministry is handling some of these interventions. We need data. I always say that we in Ghana need our own data, and I must commend the ministry for going ahead with all these interventions to be able to have the data to work with. It's not that Cecilia Benadapa comes from your town, Denu or Apepe or wherever. So I go and count all the people there and give them LEAP. It doesn't work that way. It's not favoritism. It's not family business. It is Ghana's business. Ghanaians, we are the beneficiaries of all these interventions. And government seriously is always looking out for ways and means to enlarge the data to include all those who need to be served. We have a list of the LEAP beneficiaries per the regions. In Ahafo, we have 3,458 households. Females who benefit are 9,198, and the males who benefit are 7,156. Someone can ask, can the man and the woman benefit? Sure. If they qualify, why not? That will increase maybe the woman's chop money, and it needs to be encouraged. In Ashanti, we have 27,537 households, and 85, no, I think there's a typo with those figures. Chief Director, so we should correct that. Please look at that and correct that for me. In Bono, we have 9,796 households. And again, there is something wrong with the figure. So let us spruce up the figures and give them out to the press. I don't want us to send the wrong figures to them. If you take the whole pie, we have the gender disaggregation. We have the males totaling 831,150 of them. And the females, we have 685, 270. I always thought females were more than the men. So when I looked at these big figures, I was a bit intrigued. We've done a number of monitoring in the field, and I've had the privilege of witnessing how they are paid. Everything is by Momo type of system, and the people were very happy. We monitored the Amasaman and other areas when they received their LEAP. And this will be continued, and like I said, government is looking for funding to expand this program. We have the social welfare and protection. This department continues to work actively to ensure the protection and empowerment of the vulnerable, marginalized, destitute, and underprivileged in the society. As I have stated earlier on, during the lockdown, the destitutes were fed one hot meal a day for the period that we were on lockdown. In recent times, the ministry, in collaboration with UNICEF, has introduced the Social Welfare Information Management System, known as SWIMS. The SWIMS document and report on the provision of social welfare services such as child protection, social protection, and gender-based violence using the standard national data collection forms, workflows, referral pathways, and standard operating procedures are the core duties of this department. We also have the areas of case management, family reunification and alternative care, incident monitoring, and reporting. And this is also, there's a point here I want to make, because like the Department of Social Welfare, they are also in charge of adoption, etc. People who adopt, they are monitored to make sure the children are not abused or trafficked. And this is very important with data, so that by press of the button, you know you are going to Getty's house to check on Cecilia, how the daughter Cecilia is doing, etc., etc. We also have, in the Social Welfare Information Management System, we have some figures here that shows the great job that they are doing. We have total cases in SWIMS, and we have the figure of 4,864. Child maintenance is 1,864. Male involved, 653. Females, 1,190. And that forms a figure, total figure of 37.7%. Child custody or access is also 15.11%. Male, 48.71%. Female, 50.74%. The ministry has enhanced the reformation process that children who have come into conflict with the laws of Ghana have gone through. 521 children have received character reformation training at 4 remand and correctional centers. These children went through counseling and mentorship, which was aimed at changing their wrong perception of life and behavior. They are being encouraged to adopt positive behavior, which is acceptable in a sociocultural environment. The ministry organized send-off ceremonies for the children who received training in character reformation. 3 girls have also received skills training in dressmaking and beads making. They've also exhibited their products during these send-off ceremonies. We've also had stakeholder meetings on streetism, which is also now a very, very worrying issue. We have people who have traveled from neighboring countries to live on our streets, and we are looking at this holistically to make sure we come out with human-face solutions. I think we've engaged experts on this. We've had stakeholder meetings, and we will continue. At the appropriate time, we'll put our solutions out and gather more improvements on what we want to do. With regards to gender, the ministry held a national gender equality clinic for over 40 boys and 76 girls between the ages of 12 and 19. The clinic was to bring a change in the gender equality narrative and create a network of adolescents to debunk gender equality myths. They were engaged on their sexual and reproductive health rights, gender-based violence, gender roles, and they were helped to achieve their full potential in life. These boys have pledged their commitment to the gender equality agenda. And here we know when we talk about gender, it's not about girls or women. It's about both sexes. A total of 460 girls and 240 boys benefited from mentorship programs in the Volta, Oti, Ahafo, Western, Greater Accra, Upper East, and Upper West regions. The ministry provided 4-month supply of UNFPA branded sanitary pads to over 600 female participants. And this is worthy of notice or note because there are some of our girls, our daughters, nieces, our children who do not want to attend school when they are in their menses. This is to encourage them to attend school all the time. We also had a Queen Mother's training session on sexual and gender-based violence, on harmful cultural practices including child marriage, female genital mutilation, and witchcraft accusations. We also gave them training on anti-human trafficking, the new adoptions regulations, and adolescent pregnancy. The Queen Mothers called for criminalization of witchcraft accusations and other evil practices that we have in our communities. We also have the support for elderly people who are being accused of witchcraft. It's always the women who are accused. I don't know where the wizards are, but I believe it forms part of violence against women. And whether it's against women or men, it is not good for us as a society. And we all have to help to eliminate this. During that support meeting, the ministry provided relief items and foodstuffs, such as mattresses, pillows, clothes, veils, scarves, bed sheets, rice, canned fish, tomatoes, etc., etc. We also provided cash grants and put them all on the LEAP program. We have celebrated World Children's Day, and that was the Children's Parliament in 2021. That's about 3 weeks ago. And we had the young parliamentarians who demonstrated high knowledge on issues in Parliament and the country at large. And they had lots of potentials for the advancement of democracy in Ghana. They are going to take up after current generations finish their work. So they need to practice and practice well. The children had a review. We also, under children, the protection we give to children, there was a review of early childhood care and development policy, which is still ongoing. And we have inputs from 75 key stakeholders. We have a training for 48 ophthalmic nurses in the identification and correction of early signs on visual impairment in children. There are children, for instance, who are born cross-eyed. The early detection and solution is very possible at that early age. If you wait for too long, there could be complications. We also had awareness creation on child protection issues in Ghana. And for this year, we have reached an audience of 3.5 million. On my favorite topic, human trafficking. Over the past few years, Ghana has been identified by the international community as a source, transit, and destination country for men, women, and children subjected to human trafficking. The government of Ghana has taken several steps to address the issue and has developed policies and laws to fight the menace. Currently, the U.S. State Department report on the 2020 Trafficking in Persons report for Ghana has maintained Ghana on the Tier 2 rank consecutively for 4 times. This is due to the tireless efforts of government, law enforcement officers, and all partners in the fight against human trafficking in Ghana. And it is the only board that is chaired by the Minister of the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection. Also, The ministry, in the year under review, organized a consultative meeting at the Central and Volta region to consult stakeholders to give their inputs in the development of a communication strategy to fill in the communication gap on human trafficking issues in Ghana. The Human Trafficking Secretariat embarked on a monitoring exercise in the Volta, Oti, Western, and Central regions. The ministry conducted a needs assessment of government institutions at the regional level to find out their challenges in the fight against human trafficking. This has led to the organization of a capacity building training for law enforcement officers in Cape Coast to build their capacities to enable them tackle human trafficking cases more effectively. We currently have shelters for victims in Accra and Cape Coast. Only Accra. We want to have one in the Western region. I put Takoradi there and Aflao too. These are some of the areas that we need, and I hope Takoradi is good, or we choose a border town. Yes, okay, that's good. Honorable Minister, you are welcome. We also organized a capacity building workshop for law enforcement officers in combating human trafficking. This is a very, very, very important issue because at times our children and our girls are lured with very false, lucrative avenues, etc., etc. And when they get in there, they are sold, they are used as sex slaves, and they are maltreated, etc., etc. And we need to take this secretariat very seriously. We also have the Central Adoption Authority, which has amended the Children's Act 560 of 1998 and established a Central Adoption Authority under Act 937 in the year 2016. The objective is to coordinate all adoptions in the country to promote the well-being and the best way a child can be adopted. It's also to support efficient and accountable practice in the delivery of adoption services. The authority has so far developed and operationalized in and inter-country adoption application forms, developed accreditation and authorization forms, and certificate for adoption agencies at home and abroad. 55 children I think I signed the certificates about 2 weeks ago. We've approved 55 children for prospective adoption parents from January to September 2021. We've also approved 54 home study reports for matching and the placement of adoptable children. We've undertaken a successful regional sensitization meeting in the Upper West and Savannah regions on the new adoption process. We also have the non-profit organizations. From 2014 to 2021, Financial Action Task Force listed Ghana on the gray list of countries with lapses in their anti-money laundering, combating financing terrorism legal framework. In 2020, the European Union also placed Ghana on its anti-money laundering, combating financing terrorism blacklist. This has been lifted. This was based on the fact that in 2014, National Risk Assessment Exercise conducted by the Financial Action Task Force found the non-profit organization sector of the country to be vulnerable to money laundering and terrorist financing, and recommended the country to have a regulatory framework for the non-profit organization sector to address the challenges and manage the operations of non-profit organizations in the country. This is very good because some of the non-profit organizations thought they were being prevented from accessing funding. So I'm happy that now stakeholders meetings have been held, and this has gone to the benefits of both the country and the non-profit organizations. Similarly, in 2016, a mutual evaluation undertaken by the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, which this is a specialized institution of ECOWAS, revealed that the country does not have a central registration authority for the registration and regulation of non-profit organizations. The group recommended that the country should enact a comprehensive legislation implementation measures to ensure that adequate, accurate, and timely information is available to state authorities on NPOs. And we all know our president is the current. He's been twice elected as president of ECOWAS. So we need to do this as soon as practicable. Chief Director. As part of efforts to streamline the non-profit organizations, Sector Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection formed a National Technical Committee to develop the legal framework for the NPOs. The National Committee led the technical team in the national consultation that culminated in the development of the NPO policy and directives. In October 2020, Cabinet approved the NPO policy and the directives for the management of the non-profit organizations' operations in Ghana. To ensure effective and efficient implementation of the policy and directives, I'm happy to announce to you that the NPO Secretariat has been established under the ministry with all its legal framework in place. Good. To regulate, monitor, and coordinate the non-profit organization sector. Our efforts have contributed to the delisting of Ghana from the Anti-Money Laundering Financing Terrorism list after the evaluation of Technical Action Task Force International Cooperative Review Group of the 23rd of June, 2021. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the ministry in the year under review achieved its planned programs and activities in the key areas discussed above. We will continue to implement our programs and policies in the coming years. So doing, we'll be guided by the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now with the Omicron, we all hope things will improve for all of us. On behalf of the ministry, I want to use this platform to say a very big thank you to His Excellency, the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the government of Ghana, development partners, civil society organizations, and the media for their tremendous support, and most particularly to the Honorable Minister for Information, as well as to his deputy. We will continue to strengthen and enhance our collaboration with you in the implementation of our mandate. Thank you, and God bless us all. No, I've taken 40 minutes, so.
Honorable Minister, thank you for a very good work done and for that insightful presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome my boss and our own gender champion, Honorable Kojo Oppong Nkrumah, Minister for Information and MP for Ofuasia-Irebi constituency. He is our gender champion here, so he had to leave an equally important assignment and join us at all costs, because it is the Ministry for Gender, Children, and Social Protection. Welcome, boss. Please, for the benefit of the non-English speaking stations, permit me to summarize in a minute some of the key things that the Honorable Minister mentioned. So, me pamocho and sama oswafo no debetu dwa maame Honorable Cecilia Abnadapa the titru ene say enyuma a omudi wo gender ministry ho se omofa abefo kwan so na omode aye ntotoye ne nhyehyeye ebema enyuma ni na akọwa no na amasa bi omo nso so a omo pese omo ne minister anase ministry ne din kita ho no omanya kwan bi a ebre bi an mo mbetime di sa nkita ho no na ne teacher ne say omo de app bi aba a ye friend no boame a se wo Android phone na utimi ko Play Store no akwa download sa app no na se o download na se obi akwa ahohiahia mu a anase wankasa wakwa ahohiahia mu a obetima afa app no so na one ministry na di nkita ho na omakọ mu a afen so omo orange support toll free line sa line no sebi say ya to obi mo na so obi afa abofra bi abayo anasa abemu a anasa bibi esi wo wanima ususu se esese wo twe ministry na adwunesi so no o fa omo toll free line ye 0800 111 222 obetima fra ministry no na oni omadi nkita ho via voice anasa obe text omo anasa obe send video ama omo na omo atimi akomo a afen so omo obibi e friend a single window citizen engagement services mo amone ministry ni didwa anasa edi nkita ho efa school feeding ho NHIS sleep eni nyuma hodo a ye de so ema mema ne emofra asene no utimi efre ministry no anasa any of those agencies no wo omo helpline of hope 0800 800 and I say 0800 900 900 na only ministry no edin kita ho. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed to the question and answer session. If you have any question for the Honorable Minister, kindly show by hand. The microphone will be brought to you so that you ask your questions. We will take the first 5 questions and then go for the Honorable Minister's responses. Okay. So we'll take one from here, one at the back. Okay, and the third.
Thank you very much.
Please, your name, media house,
I'm
and
Ivan
then.
Spekuyaboa from Oman FM.
Okay.
And I want to ask my question in 3. So, Honorable Mepacho Bebre, and Pepe say, Onam Kroma, Ube say, a Kobe, I was from a philanthropist, a marble box, a more plan call for Kajina, no my big home. Umay 1 city, Umay 2 city, Yafan Coffee and Colamo Broa. The bill saw orphanage home. Omo wa chucha nkwala nfuni ina omo alamnati na omo de nam nkwala no covid ba nti obroni obete na orphanage home no woko yenye sika hwe nkwala no yesremo moma yesika na yemfa koboa nkwala mobro nsefo bi so ho a ye nuan ma sofo mo preachi moma akota makola bi oda akonyamu ye de drip ahye ne mfe ye de pastor atitare so akolai me ma mi hin sika sei o de kwakoye operation momo aye the same akola na abeko ba bi fufuro no ma sa de ni gina ho ona bo wa mi bisa se so akwan bia ni ho no mo a omo di sa adwuma we no mbetumi di omo afa so sa de be ya ni nyina to betwa and that's it.
Okay, so we'll take the second question from the back. Okay.
My name is Sarah Paku. I'm reporting for TV3 News. Please, I want to find out, Honorable, you mentioned the situation of streetism becoming a worrying issue in the country. How worrying is it? You mentioned some stakeholder engagements ongoing to find a human face solution to it. Have we been able to identify the specific countries these children, especially the foreign children, are coming from, and how many of them we have in the country? I also want to find out if the ministry can give us an update on the 19 students who were sodomized in the Gonja East district of the country. Thank you.
So we'll take the third question from the back.
Good afternoon, Honorable. My name is Paul Nyojadalafu, and I report for Daily Statesman. I want to find out from the caretaker minister whether he can furnish us with the statistics of number of women in the witches camps and how many witches camps do we have across the country. What measures has he taken to get us rid of the witches camps? And also, coming to think of a LEAP program, who is qualified to be part of the LEAP program? and how is the person enrolled? Is there any political interference in it or not? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So if there is any other question, okay, we'll take the fourth question. Okay. Bring the microphone, please.
My name is Salom. I work at the Finder. Minister, it was found that 110,000 girls are impregnated every year. That's teenagers, so from 13 to 18 years old. Is the ministry aware of this, and what steps are being taken to go after the men who are impregnating the children, the girls of this country? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we can take one more question and then go for Honorable Minister's responses. If there are no questions, then we will call on the Honorable Minister to give us her responses. So we will now go to the Honorable Caretaker Minister for the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection for her answers.
Thank you. The three question first. I no crep. And I say one form of deception. Ne binum so ho truly no akra na yare. O yare de ne be ko hospital no, ne de ne serious ska. Ne nyina wrong. Last week, social welfare, monitoring. Two groups of people. Refer ma kolebu. Say, kolebu nsha since odom bejina kwan ho na omo serious kan. Wrong, so bayare. Na wonfa no nko hospital. And now you're guardian of a sick child. Na wonfa no nko hospital na de ni gina kwan ho agigiska. Wrong. Tie nyina no. Sene Mampeyin Nana Dodanko Akufo-Addo kan no osi nyina yenye active citizens me yenye spectators into observation no kre ena sebio omo agigiska no omo nya accountable to anybody na ne mesre ne at times so behwe no na radio station bi TV station bi appeal eno no omo yi omo anim appeal me mpese me rate omo ma minimum appeal be akoso 3 years. Time be no a obenya sika no a obeye obeto na ema akoma hospital no odanadi ma obi ehunu nti ebo omo no abaso obo ho a yare a ne sika no yeso onya akora be anya cancer onya tumor ni nyina no omo appeal to us in an honest way a megidi se no so ya said e betumi aboa eno wiase ba bia ye sade no ena street children no according to me catch sorry. In my presentation, I said we are using technology to get solutions to our challenges. The street children, they number 16,000. To put the countries out, I'm reluctant now because we are trying to engage their missions to see whether indeed they are from those countries. So I will not preempt that exercise by putting a list of countries out. But we know, we suspect, and we are dealing with that. Like I said, we have stakeholders that have given inputs, and we've involved a lot of people. So at the appropriate time, the solutions will be brought out, and we'll see the results that we have. The students who were sodomized, it's a very unfortunate incident. we wrote to condemn, we gave out a statement to condemn this act, and the GES, my colleague Minister for Education, also led his team to visit and then to condemn this, and I think they've taken some initial actions. What I can say is that the case is in court, and we will monitor and follow it up. The witches' camps, we have the Daily Statesman, we have the list here. We have various communities that we have this witches' camp phenomenon going on. In all, we have, okay, 1 minute. Per the figures here, we have our grandmothers and if we are old enough, this must stop. Like I said in my presentation, we have criteria that we use. We have data. The expert is here to corroborate what I'm saying. There is nothing. If you qualify as the poorest of the poor, as a vulnerable person, or a caregiver, there are people who also leave whatever they are doing in this world to care for the sick. They also are part of it. And the 110,000 impregnated girls, I don't know the source of that figure. If I could have that figure so that we can match figure around it. Thank you. Yes. You have. What figure? We can then match them up with what the larger data collection brings. We should even have them for each region, each district, and communities. Because I have read in the papers that some communities have more than others, that after holidays you have so many children, 3,000 girls being impregnated. Talking about the men who do that, if the child is underage, definitely it's rape at times or defilement. If the child or the girl is of age, in the 110,000, I don't know which ones are consensual, or which ones were as a result of rape or defilement. We'll have to look at that and do the figures out of that. But it's a criminal act to defile or rape in our nation. especially when the child is below the age of consensual relationship. And the men, if I may use you as an ambassador to appeal to the men who do that to our girls to stop. It's criminal, and criminal courts normally deal with such persons. What I do not like personally is when the parents are appealed to bring the case, to take the case out of court to be settled within the communities. Invariably, the victims are shortchanged. So this is what I have to say to that. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, if you have a follow-up question, we'll take the last set. If not, so we have one hand at the back.
So, Minister, with respect to the boys who were sodomized, aside the legal bit which is being handled, has the ministry put in place any mechanisms to follow up on their well-being, psychological? That's basically what I was looking for. Thank you.
Okay, so the second one, Mr. Azuma.
My name is John Awuni. I represent Kesben. Mine is also more or less like a follow-up. As the minister indicated, she mentioned that about 6 witches camps are in operation right now. Savannah Institute did a research, and then they gave the ethnic allocation as to which particular ethnic group is in which particular witches camp. And we had 60% from Konkombes, 37 being Dagombes, 1% being Mampushi, being Moba, and then others. I want to find out, they've petitioned Parliament though. I don't want to find out if such petition has been received by your ministry as to its complete closure from these outmoded cultural practices. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Nana will take the last question for the day and then go for Honorable Minister's
Yes, good afternoon, Honorable Minister. My name is Honorable from Daily Searchlight. If you go to places like Circle and interchanges, you see people begging. In fact, most of them, sometimes when you are passing by, they just hold your address and then they want to attack you by begging from you. I don't know what the ministry is doing about it. I don't know if it's permissible in Ghana, but people just attack you for and ask for arms. And it's very nauseating and very disgusting that you are walking around and somebody just come and hold your address and say, give me money. I don't know why the country has looked on and this is growing and becoming a nuisance in society. My second question, there was I think Hula Balu about the payment of creditors of the school feeding. I don't know whether the arrears or the arrears have been cleared, and I want to know the situation of whether there are arrears or what. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So that's the last question.
Yes, with regard to the sodomized boys, unfortunately, like I said, it's with a lot of regret that we see these things in our communities. The boys have been given counseling. Social welfare department officials have been there to visit them, and we are monitoring their well-being as well. They are even talking to the parents as well to make sure the communities, people within the communities do not ostracize them or laugh at them like they are classmates, etc., etc. They were bold to come out, and we should appreciate them for their boldness to come out and bring this evil act out. The witches camps, yes. I had the lists of the communities, but I intentionally left them out. The important thing is to make sure this practice is eliminated. It can be anywhere on our soil. It's not that this group of people are here and so they are prone to. No, it's an old practice and it's defunct per se, and we need to get rid of it. The arms begging thing is a comment you made. So I'll go straight to the school feeding arrears. Yes, we have the last lot of arrears to pay. We know the figure we've put in, and it's at the controllers. So very soon we hope to get it. Thank you very much.
on that note, I would like to thank the caretaker minister at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection and her powerful delegation for joining us this afternoon. Our invited guests, thanks for attending upon invitation. We hope to receive you very soon. Thank you and good afternoon.